Hey there folks, this is GreenXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Umineko. This is episode 46. In the last episode, all the adults were trying to figure out the epitaph riddle, and Eva, on her lonesome at the end, figured out the answer. So, let's carry on with the story, see if it follows on from there, or maybe it'll go off for the kids. Who knows? This way? Go this way? They invited me to go this way. My heart leapt. Because there, gaping wide, was an opened mouth in the eerie darkness. What's this? What is this? When I strained my eyes, peering into the darkness, I saw something that looked like a light switch. In addition, there was a switch with open and close written on it. What is this? When I resolutely pushed the switch, rough lights, like you'd find in a coal mine, turned on sporadically, making a staircase that stretched underground come hazily into view. It's gotta be Eva, right? Eerily enough, it looked even more gloomy with the lights turned on. Near the light switch was that open and close switch. It would probably open or close this, but if the open part happened to be broken, I might be shut away in this creepy underground area for all eternity. So for the time being, I didn't touch that switch. And as I readied my gun again, I slowly went down the stairs. The ceiling was very high, so it didn't feel cramped. On the contrary, it felt as though a cool breeze was blowing upwards, and that creepiness seemed to form a sort of aura. As I readied my gun and carefully stared forwards, I descended the stairs. The walls, the stairs, the lights, all of them were very old-fashioned. It was easy to suspect that this had been built back when the mansion had been constructed on this island. There were cracks in the ceiling, water clung to the walls, constantly dripping down. That water fell into a gutter that had been set up alongside the stairs, then quickly and silently flowed into the underground darkness. As though it was telling me to go faster. The staircase kept turning back on itself. I don't know how far down I've gone, but I think it's much deeper than one floor. Eventually, a rough metal door showed itself, and there characters had been written in a dark red paint. They had probably been written a long time ago. On the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. My heart, which was already about to explode, jumped about even more as soon as I recognised those deep red characters. There's no mistake. This is the last stop. Father's Golden Land. I calmed my throbbing heart, somehow regained my composure, and readied my gun again. But since, in the end, I couldn't open the door with my gun held in both hands, I lowered the gun, carefully hid my breathing, and opened the door. That's an interesting phrase. Hid my breathing. This place is... My first impression when I saw the room was that it might be linked to one of the rooms in the mansion. That's right, it had exactly the same atmosphere about it as the sealed VIP room on the second floor. But this was underground, so there were no windows. There was only the solemn light of a grand chandelier. But even though it was dimly lit by the faint light, the quality of the interior was more than enough to take your breath away. A bed with a canopy and a rocking chair that looked like it would be comfortable to sit in. An extravagant sofa and carpet. The room was like a dream every girl yearns for at least once. And yet, since it was an underground hidden room with no windows, it felt more like the hidden house of a witch. I'd never swallowed the legend of Beatrice, Witch of the Forest. However, after being shown this room, it certainly became hard to doubt that she actually had existed, and had lived in this room. Is someone there? Even though I was completely shocked by this room, I timidly searched the interior with my gun raised. And at the back of the room, I found it. Gold. Eek! My gasp came out strangely, like a bunny being choked. After all, after finding something like this, no one would be able to stop that kind of stupid voice from leaking out. It's here. It's really here. Father's gold. On the opposite side of the canopy bed, it was piled up in a massive heap. It was a mountain of gold ingots. Of course, they weren't piled up carelessly in a way that would damage the dignity of the room. A beautiful scarlet satin weave was laid on the mountain of gold, creating a beautiful three-coloured mix between the red, the gold, and the black of the deep darkness. It was as though, when the witch slept on this bed, the gold would be a respectful chamberlain waiting on her. Nobly, refinedly, gracefully, beautifully, it was attentively piled there with an imposing air. When I tried to grab a single gold ingot, I was surprised at its weight. It was probably about 10 kilos. Just this ingot would probably be worth more than 10 million. The Ashurmaya family crest, the one-winged eagle, was lightly imprinted on it. It was hard to tell whether it had worn away or whether the impression had been made carelessly in the first place, but it was certainly the crest of the one-winged eagle. Just how many ingots were piled up there? By doing a quick count here and there, and judging by the height, there had to be a few hundred at least. My mind's already gone blank, so I can't do the math well. Even a moderate guess would put it above several billion yen. That's right, of course. After all, there's 10 tons of gold, right? At the current value, that's more than 20 billion yen of gold. I found it before anyone else. I found it! Ah! She's happy. In front of the mountain of gold, I spread my arms and looked up at the ceiling. A laugh without a trace of dignity flowed out of my entire body. I had no intention of laughing in a weird way. But, I couldn't hold back the happy feeling that was flowing through me. My older brother probably wouldn't accept his loss just because I found this gold. But from now on, there would be no change in the fact that I had been the one to find it. To steal away the headship of the family, some more subtle bargaining would probably still be required. But after everything I've gone through until now, that's a completely trivial problem. Even if I lose out on the Ashurmaya family headship, I already have 20 billion yen worth of gold. At times, I've thought that money is such a worthless thing. I thought there were so many things in this world you can't buy with money. But now I see that's just a lie. Just an excuse that the have-nots make for themselves. In front of this mountain of gold, I finally realised something so obvious. By using this money, I can give birth to all the happiness in this world. With this money, my husband's company is already saved. We will always be happy as a family, and I can even leave a vast sum of money to George. The rest of the relatives will eventually be ruined and disappear. At that time, George will use this gold, and just like grandfather did, he will revive the Ashurmaya family's lost honour. George is the true successor to the Ashurmaya family. It happened. My wish was granted. That dream I have wished for ever since I was born into this world as Ashurmaya Eva has been granted completely at this very moment. My husband and I will be happy for all eternity, and I can also give my only son, George, eternal happiness. There's no way I'll waste it on foolish pleasures. My older brother has chewed the Ashurmaya family to bits, but George and I will revive it, and that means I truly have succeeded the Ashurmaya family headship. I was successful. I did it, honey and George. I, your mother, finally succeeded. No one will be able to threaten us now. That's right, after this, never again will we be smothered by sad nights. Congratulations, me. Congratulations, Ashurmaya Eva. Right here, right now, the sad half of our life will have its heart's desire granted. It's all thanks to you. I was given this chance because of your magic. Because of that chance, I was able to make it here. Thank you. But my magic wouldn't have been granted if we both didn't believe in each other. So it isn't just the power of my magic. This is our victory. Because of that, congratulations, us. Thank you, me. Thank you, Ashurmaya Eva. I'm glad I didn't give in before now. I'm glad that I didn't drown in sorrow and forget to keep struggling. No, this is my magic. Our magic. Your magic was the real thing. Beatrice, the witch of the forest, is nothing more than an illusion. You are the real witch, a wielder of real magic. That's right. Right now, you are the golden witch, Beatrice. Isn't she just a character she's talking to herself? To. No. Eva decided to leave for the time being. When she climbed the stairs again, trying to leave the secret place, she saw a creepy, swaying, human shadow blocking her path, and her dreamlike state was blown away. Who is it? For an instant, she believed that the true master of this room, the real Beatrice, had appeared. It seemed that the other person was also holding a gun. The two of them were pointing guns at each other, and eventually they each realized who the other was. Rosa? Nissan? What are you doing in a place like this? That's my line. What business do you have in such a place? I shouldn't have given you that hint, Nissan. If I hadn't, I definitely would have been the first to reach this place. Too bad. It seemed that Rosa knew where this staircase went, and what was waiting ahead of her. You should talk. Even though I reached this place before you. I was worried too much about the Sweetfish River. The Sweetfish part didn't really matter that much at all, did it? That isn't true. It was an excellent hint, wasn't it? Well, of course, maybe there was no need for it to be sweetfish. But when I heard that sweetfish are fish that go out into the sea, I was able to figure it out. What's inside? Why not see with your own eyes? It definitely won't betray your expectations. Don't be afraid, Nissan. I never had any interest in who becomes the head. I don't even care about the Ashramaya family name. Honestly, I actually feel good about you stealing the headship from Kraus Nissan, who's always staggering around because of it. Swaggering. You serious? Of course. I'm the outsider of the Ashramaya siblings. Even if father had named me as the next head, there's no way Nissan would accept it. I try not to have such naive dreams. Let me see too, Nissan. There's proof of your victory. As long as I receive the proper portion that the siblings agreed upon, I plan to proactively acknowledge you as the true victor in this game. If you shoot me, you'll have this gold all to yourself, won't you? The same goes for you. If you shoot me, this gold will all be yours. For a tense moment, the sisters pointed their guns at each other. Eventually, after they sized up the glint in the other's eyes, they lowered their guns. Eva removed her finger from the trigger and held the gun upside down. It was a position that she couldn't quickly shoot from. When she saw that, Rosa held hers the same way. That's right. That plan of shooting the other and having all the gold to ourselves is attractive for both of us. But if one of us suddenly disappeared on this island while it's isolated by the typhoon, there would be a huge uproar. If we hid the corpse here, it probably won't be found easily, but we couldn't be sure. No matter how many billion yen worth of gold is on the line, it isn't worth the risk of committing murder. On the contrary, that would give Kraus Nissan and the others ammunition to ring us for all we're worth. I agree. It may have been a blessing in disguise that you're the one who showed up, instead of Nissan or Rudolph. You're the sibling I trust most. Thank you. And the other sibling I trust most, Nissan. Why? She's the bitch. I want to see the gold too. Wanna have a peek? Now I feel like seeing it again too. Even though I saw it with my own eyes, it still doesn't feel real. Unless I see it together with you and confirm once more that it actually exists, it feels like the gold will turn to fog and disappear. Eva started descending the staircase once more. However, she didn't carelessly expose her back to Rosa. Even though at a glance it looked like Rosa had lowered her guard, she definitely didn't show any signs of carelessness. Then they reached that room of the witch once more. Rosa also gasped, stunned, speechless by the vast amount of gold. Rosa and Eva walked absent-mindedly through the rose garden. They had left the guest house secretly, so they had to be careful when they returned. It was time to snap to it and keep their guards up. Congratulations, Nissan. Thank you. You decided it, didn't you, Nissan? 50% goes to the one bearing the title of successor to the headship. It certainly worked out well for you. Now that portion isn't Kraus Nissan's, so your share is now 50%, along with a quarter of the rest, for a total of 12.5 billion yen. Isn't that incredible? 2.5 billion is enough for me. Rudolph Nissan won't complain either. Kraus Nissan will probably be the only one to complain. Yeah, you're right. After all, Nissan's the de facto manager of Rokkenjima. And since the gold was on these premises, even though I was the first to discover it, things might get complicated if I don't handle it cleverly. It won't get complicated. Didn't we give it our all at that discussion last night with that in mind? I wonder if it'll really go that smoothly. I've already completely gotten over my excitement. How we manage everything from here on is the real problem. That's a problem for the new head of the Ashramaya family. A problem for you to enjoy, Nissan. It has nothing to do with me. That's some big talk coming from you. I'll support you as the second discoverer, if you'll at least give me the early payment we decided on. I'd like 150 million yen by March. Yeah, that'll be fine. If you support me, I'll graciously pay you that much. I'm not Nissan. Anyway, why don't we go and shock Nissan and the others? Even if we cover up the actual location, I want to see Kraus Nissan's shocked face as soon as I can. Wait a second, Rosa. Wait a while before telling everyone about it. Why? You idiot, isn't it obvious? This is that haughty Kraus Nissan and that sly Rudolph we're talking about. Even if we do announce it eventually, it's certainly too early now. Unless we carefully investigate how to make our next move, it's possible that all of the gold we've finally found will be snatched away by Nissan. Eva thought she was saying something extremely natural. So when she saw Rosa's expression suddenly cloud over, she was a little surprised. What are you so unsatisfied about? You know what kind of a person Kraus Nissan is? Nissan, that's against the rules. What do you mean? Didn't we make a rule that whoever found the gold would announce it immediately? If you hesitate, the foundation of the rules will be destroyed, and that could lead to something worse in the future. With Kraus Nissan as crafty as he is, that violation of the rules will come back to bite you. Don't be stupid. This is Nissan's island, and that gold just now wasn't cash. We're talking about the liquidation of the vast 10-ton mountain, right? It'll take a significant amount of time to carry it off and turn it into cash. And that'll only work in Nissan's favour since he has practical control over this island. Don't you even realise that? I don't like it when you search out each other's weaknesses like that. All I want is to reach a clear decision regarding my 2.5 billion portion. Of course, if you were to give me 2.5 billion in cash right now, you'd be free to continue negotiating however you like. But until I have my share in my own pocket, I'll follow the siblings' rules. How can you be so naive? You don't understand Nissan's craftiness at all. It wasn't that Rosa didn't understand the craftiness of her older siblings. In that sense, Rosa more or less understood why Eva was being so cautious. But in her heart, she couldn't clear away her suspicion that Eva wanted to keep all the gold for herself. Because she knew that Eva was at least as crafty as her other siblings. In other words, Rosa wanted to put a stop to any chance Eva had to keep the gold all to herself, by quickly informing the siblings of the gold's discovery. Rosa, sorry, but at least listen to me this once. Are you saying that if I don't listen to what you say, you won't be able to get me that 150 million? That isn't the way I wanted to say it. But if you really need that money, supporting me is a more realistic option. If you talk to Nissan and Rudolph, even the portion that's your natural right might disappear. You don't want that, do you? For a while, a severe expression that she'd never shown to her sister before rose to Rosa's face. There wasn't even a trace of her restraint as a younger sister. There was just the ruthlessness. No, the seriousness of a single human arguing about a vast sum of wealth. Eva made light of it, chuckling. My, how careless we must be to stand around here talking like this. Even though a frightful murder case has just taken place, and the culprit might still be on this island. I'm sure it was just the servants play acting. There were no murders on this island in the first place. Oh? So, you do think that after all? The circumstances surrounding those 6 deaths shows us that clearly. A crime from the outside couldn't possibly have created those 6 closed rooms. Dr. Nanjo said they were all dead, but that was a lie too. This is all a complicated act that Father cooked up. All the servants are just plain dead. A murder never occurred in the first place. There's no way that there's a murderer prowling around. I'm surprised you noticed. You looked pretty scared, so I didn't think you'd figured it out so much. I'm good at reading the mood of a situation. I've got you to thank for training me so well. That's right. Come to think of it, now that the servants are dead, almost everyone on this island is a member of the Ashurmaya family. As for Nanjo, he proclaimed the deaths of the servants. But when the relatives began to discuss the riddle of the epitaph, he disappeared off to the 2nd floor, as if he didn't want to get in the way. All of it was an act to get us to try and solve that epitaph. And that's why you need to announce that you're the victor, Nissan. There's no way that burnt corpse was really Father. He got a corpse with the right number of toes from somewhere, and went to all the trouble of burning it in that creepy way of his, so we could see it. I'm sure he's hiding somewhere, watching to see how we'll behave. I bet he already knows you reached the Golden Land, Nissan. That's why you should announce that you're the winner soon. I'm sure Father will appear out of nowhere to applaud you and proclaim that you're his successor. Then again, I've still got to pester you for that 150 million, so I can't stand against you in any way. So you'll listen to what I say and keep quiet about this to Nissan and the rest? Make your position clear, Rosa. I want to tell them. We made that rule just last night. We shouldn't just throw it away. Of course, I'll announce it in front of the siblings. However, I want to closely analyse the situation first. We've got to carry out 10 tons of gold, convert it into money, and distribute it fairly. Until I have proof that I can do all that without Nissan getting in the way, I want some time to think. I only want to postpone my announcement until then. I'm certainly not keeping it secret because I want it all for myself. You'll definitely announce it to everyone sooner or later, right? Of course. Even I want to rub it in Nissan's face as soon as I can. About how much time will you need to think? I won't know that until I've thought about it. Will one night be enough? I can't promise you that it'll take only one night. Out of respect for you, the successor, I'll support you for one night. This year's family conference will end tomorrow morning, when the typhoon passes and a boat comes to get us. That's right, when the seagulls cry. I will remain silent until then. If you still feel that you need more time to think after that, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, okay? I'll support your position. There we go. To the best of my ability. You really are cunning, aren't you? I'm surprised. Were you always this resilient? I guess it's true that women become stronger when they have a child. I realised that in myself when I had Maria. Understood. For the time being, thanks for your cooperation. We can talk about tomorrow when it comes. Yes, that's right. I'm convinced that you'll become a fair-minded successor to the headship, one who'd never even consider taking all the gold for herself. Isn't that obvious? I'll split the gold evenly among the siblings. No way. I found it. Because we solved the riddle of the epitaph. So this gold is all mine. I won't give it up to anyone. I'm the head of the Ashurmaya family. I am. The witch inside Eva claimed exclusive possession in a loud voice. Of course that didn't reach even close to Rosa's ears, and it probably didn't reach Eva's either. Indeed. I shall acknowledge it. You were the true head of the Ashurmaya family, chosen by the witch's epitaph. Now I acknowledge it upon my name. Whoop. You are? That outfit, you couldn't actually be Beatrice. Maybe Beatrice was happy that Eva had called her by her own name. She cackled cheerfully. In concert with that laugh, gold butterflies crept up as though a storm of gold dust was spinning round the room, and the room shone the colour of gold. Indeed, I'm the Golden Witch Beatrice. There's no need to be so frightened. I'm praising your exploits. Truly excellent. Imagine that you would spectacularly solve that riddle of the epitaph. It's worthy of my admiration. You're the one who sent that letter? So I'll inherit all the gold in the Ashurmaya family headship, right? You wrote that in your letter, and I overcame that challenge. Indeed. I shall acknowledge it. Right now, all the gold piled up here, and everything of the Ashurmaya family is for you to do with it as you please. After all, from this moment on, you're already the Ashurmaya family head. Really? It's true, right? Right? Do not be agitated. I'm openly praising you. As proof, I shall grant you this. Beatrice took a ring off of her own finger, and held it out to Eva. She fearfully accepted it, and realised that it was a ring. Could this be... Indeed. This golden ring is proof of the Ashurmaya family headship returned to me from Kinzo. From now on, it's yours. You may place it on your finger and hold it high before your siblings. No one should doubt that you have now succeeded the Ashurmaya family headship. Eva stared closely at the ring. It certainly wasn't a fake. Without a doubt, it was the real thing. She dreamed of receiving this ring someday, focused on this day over and over again, and it was now finally a certainty. This ring had now designated her as the head, and had been handed over to her, and timidly, she put it on the middle finger of her left hand. In that instant, she felt a deep emotion welling up inside her that she'd never felt before. Her mind grew blank. Both eyes were opened. That ring was on her own finger. Not in a dream, but in reality. That ring is also pleased. After all, it managed to reach you, one who dreamed of putting it on their finger for so long. The ring. Father's ring. How many nights have you dreamed of putting that on your finger, as you have done now? the strength of those feelings became your magic and materialized itself. Now you're worthy of calling yourself a great witch. Who are you? Are you really Beatrice? I am the Golden Witch Beatrice, the Ashurmaya family alchemist. In accordance with my contract with Kinzo, I will now pass everything on to you. All the gold entrusted Kinzo with, and all the wealth he built up through that, and the honour and headship of the Ashurmaya family. And I will pass on my power and the title of the Endless Witch. The title of the Witch. I will pass on all of my magical power and the titles of the Golden Witch and the Endless Witch. Following my predecessor's example, I will hand over my name, Beatrice, along with that title. You may now call yourself by that name, Eva Galt. The chandelier light, which had seemed dim, now felt too bright. By my name, I shall now commence the succession of the Golden Witch. We got a new Beatrice! The instant Beatrice made that proclamation, everything was buried by a golden sparkle, and changed into a majestic place that looked like an audience hall. In the audience hall, there was a crowd of Beatrice's minions and brethren, as well as countless gold butterflies, celebrating this first succession ceremony in 1,000 years. When she looked, she saw Beatrice in the throne that only the Endless Witch was permitted to sit in, holding a golden staff, reigning with a dazzling dignity. Without being ordered by anyone, Eva automatically kneeled, hanging her head. A goat attendant respectfully handed Beatrice a golden staff in the shape of the one-winged eagle. After Beatrice stood up and received that staff, she laid the tip of it on Eva's shoulder and spoke. It was a proclamation 1,000 years in coming. Ashurmaya Eva, you have spectacularly solved the riddle of the witch's epitaph and reached the Golden Land. I praise that accomplishment and hand over all the endless magic as well as the titles of the Golden Witch and the Endless Witch. From this point forth, you may call yourself by my name, Beatrice. Come, raise your face, then stand and accept the staff. I'm most grateful. Eva stood up dizzily and took the magic staff from Beatrice's hand. Her hand was trembling slightly. As soon as she grasped that staff, she was wrapped up in the brilliant sparkle of gold, as though gold butterflies were flowing out from inside of her. In the instant she succeeded the Golden Witch, Eva felt something in the depths of her soul be reborn. To describe it in a word, it was energy. Energy with a gold colour. It felt like she was waking up, as though she had been half asleep ever since she had been born and was opening her eyes for the first time. It felt as though her true eyes inside her eyes were opened for the first time in her life. Aha! She got the dress. So Eva is the new Golden Witch. Indeed. A fitting and beautiful outfit for the Golden Witch. Come, you may show yourself to all these people. Let them know that the new witch is indeed you. Eva? No, the new Beatrice turned around timidly. When she did, the witch's minions, which filled the vast audience hall, honoured her with an applause that sounded like the roaring of the sea. Come everyone. We place all the portraits of Beatrice with the new Beatrice. Lift up words of celebration for the new Beatrice. Aha! I think in the anime it always it changed the actual opening cutscene, didn't it? The actual opening, you know, so it was her instead. New Beatrice, congratulations on the succession of the Golden Witch. I hope that you will become able to stand on your own as a proud Golden Witch and as the Endless Witch. Yes, I will do my best. I expect composure befitting the Endless Witch from you, unlike your naughty predecessor. Oh. Teacher, we're in the middle of a serious ceremony, so please enough of that. Congratulations on the succession of the Golden Witch, new Beatrice Sama. I am called Ronave. I am one of the 72 demons permitted to serve the Golden Witch. If you're ever inconvenienced in the slightest, please let me know at once. Thank you. Ronave is rude, but reliable. If anything confuses you in your new days as a witch, speak to this man, and he should be able to help you. Predecessor Beatrice Sama. It's a shame that I was not permitted to serve you further, even though we have finally been reunited like this. These last 1,000 years have been very entertaining for me. You have my deepest gratitude. Indeed. 1,000 years with you wasn't boring. Please take care of the new witch. Yes. I, Ronave, will obey the final order of the former Beatrice. Better thank me, okay? I gave my signature to recommend you for the succession of the witch. Got it? In other words, if I hadn't signed, you wouldn't have been able to become a witch. So thank me a little, okay? This is the Witch of Certainty, Lady Lambda Delta. The recommendation of a witch from the Senate was required for your succession as an Endless Witch. Lady Lambda Delta recommended you and became your guardian. Thank you. Hey, Beto, this kid isn't grateful enough. I think I'll take back that recommendation. A person making these recommendations shouldn't act like a child, right? If you've signed, make sure you take responsibility. Lady Lambda Delta is also the Witch of Certainty. The Witch of Certainty prefers to make fate firm to create a fate of certainty. She really liked and highly valued your efforts until today. Well, you had that unfortunate childhood, all that unrewarded effort. I can sympathise just a bit with that. It's not like I felt sorry for you or anything, so don't be so full of yourself. Soon. From my point of view, your succession is more of a coincidence than a miracle. It isn't worthy of my recommendation. This is Lady Burncastle. She's quite hard to please. Still, you could say that just having her participate in this celebration makes you exceedingly lucky. I only came because this is a rare once-in-a-millennium event, and I heard there'd be some good sake. New Beatrice-sama, please come greet us as well. Huh? Oh, I'm pleased to meet you. The 7 sisters of Purgatory were gathered in a line. The eldest sister, Lucifer, took a step forward and kneeled. This is furniture that serves me. As a gift to celebrate your inheritance, I will send them to you. Once you succeed the position of Golden Witch, you'll need to carry out the resurrection ceremony for yourself. The 7 sisters of Purgatory perform an essential role in that ceremony. They're a villainous bunch, but they serve their purpose. Have them do whatever you wish. You'll always be by Beatrice-sama's side. Please order us to do anything you desire. We'll accomplish our tasks without fail. Even after that, many nobles and minions visited and offered words of congratulation for the new witch. As she responded to them confusedly, she felt as though she was growing lightheaded due to lack of oxygen. She couldn't tell if this was something real or unreal, but there was just one thing she could understand. A feeling of achievement of being permitted to call herself the Golden Witch. That alone was a truth she could definitely understand. What is all this? Of course I'm not going to swallow this story, but what in the world does it mean? Aunt Eva is the new Beatrice? Are you saying she's turned into a witch? What the hell? I was also surprised to think that someone would be able to solve that riddle. However, that's the rule. I must follow it and pass on the position of Golden Witch and my name. It's hardly something to be surprised about. At the very beginning, you wrote that rule in a letter and announced it. Eva-sama was simply the first to be successful. That's all there is to it, to say. Virgilia, you there? Yes, here I am. What's this farce mean? Even if this depiction of strange witches showing up one after another is some of her bullshit, isn't this almost like Aunt Eva turned into a witch? Calm yourself. She simply received the title of Endless Witch and might call herself that in the future. The succession ceremony is certainly nothing more than an act to promote that child's explanation. Don't fall for the same move over and over again. That's right. That whole grand ceremony was all phony, but it's at least a fact that Aunt Eva solved the riddle of the epitaph. And at the same time, that means she succeeded the Ashurmaya family headship. And after getting 10 tons of gold, Aunt Eva might as well call herself the Golden Witch. Is that it? Damn, it's as complicated as ever. My. Is a boorish human unable to comprehend the grandeur of this ceremony? Oh. Being unable to read between the lines is what makes you human. I pity you, but I do not blame you. Damn it. Don't look at me like you feel sorry for me. Still, for the time being, there's something I need to check. And that's regarding this younger version of Aunt Eva. In other words, the definition of this new Beatrice. What is that? Even if I tell of it, you'll just persist in your disbelief in magic and witches, correct? So there's nothing in particular for me to explain. Feel free to believe in whatever it seems to be to you. What it seems to be to me? Then how should I interpret this? For now, it might not hurt to view it as a visualization of a separate entity inside Ashurmaya Eva. Of course, you cannot blindly accept that answer, but it's probably a reasonable theory to hold for the time being. In other words, I should think of Aunt Eva and her as the same person, right? Damn, I don't like where this is going. In any case, from now on, my name is no longer Beatrice. I passed it on to Ashuramaya Eva, which means that I am nameless. Battler, don't you have some name that would be fitted for me? I shall accept your recommendation. How would a name that's refined, full of elegance, and a little cute too, if you can? Just Beto is good enough for you. There's probably a big enough difference between Beto and Beatrice to keep people from getting confused. So the same old Beto, is it? It doesn't feel wrong, but it's boring for some reason. They say the temperature of black tea in a woman's heart are difficult to gauge in my era, in any era. Battler-kun? At any rate, stay calm from this point onwards. The fact that we can now tell her and Ashuramaya Eva apart works to our advantage, compared to the time when that child was still Beatrice. And that's exactly why I like it even less. What's she thinking? That Beto. Over there, the witches formed a long line to bless Aunt Eva, who had the figure of her younger days and who now possessed the name Beatrice. It was like a witch's coronation. The countless gold butterflies flapped their wings, directing this fantastical gold sparkling space. They were all praising her. As I stared from the distance, I looked at the newly born Beatrice, who had a slightly embarrassed smile on her face. Her expression, which had been lost and confused at first, seemed to be full of the happiness that she was finally starting to recognise. That expression didn't look at all like someone laughing insanely while standing before the gold. It was just the innocence of a person basking in their own joy. As a person who denied the existence of witches, I couldn't view this witch succession ceremony with a joyful expression and accept her. However, when I looked at that innocent smile, I felt like I wanted to offer my blessings, just for that moment. It's always beautiful when strong efforts bear fruits and are rewarded. Aunt Eva, who had always yearned to succeed the headship, and who had worked hard since her youth without reward, had spectacularly taken hold of the chance given to her by the riddle of the epitaph, and had finally gained that position. How divine is the smile of a person whose childhood dreams have been granted. I definitely won't accept witches. But Battler put his hands together, making a small sound. Clap, clap. It didn't reach her ears, but it did bless her. Congratulations, Aunt Eva. You spectacularly solved the riddle of the epitaph before anyone else. It's your victory without any complaints. I won't accept all that about the Golden Witch and so on, but I will accept you as the new head of the Ashuramaya family, and I'll celebrate that sincerely. As though urged on by Battler's applause, Beto also clapped. It was a slightly odd scene. Battler and Beto, who opposed each other, were standing side by side and applauding the same person. I'm not applauding for a witch. I'm clapping for all of Aunt Eva's efforts up until now. As am I. I offer my sincere applause as a blessing to Eva, who spectacularly solved that epitaph. I don't like applauding with you. But well, I've decided that I won't worry about it now. Divine punishment won't fall on me just because I clap with you every once in a while. It's not so bad every once in a while. Still, it is fun to applaud. Even though it was Eva who was successful and not me, for some reason I'm starting to feel happy too. That's because blessing someone means the same thing as sympathising and sharing with them. I see. Then I've even shared this irrational happy feeling with you. Since we are a pair of enemies trying to make each other surrender, it's an odd experience. Well, just for now, let's have a truce and clap, okay? Beto laughed impishly, playing around and applauding even louder, as though eagerly trying not to lose to Battler as she clapped. Battler went along with her and clapped even louder. When he did, as though some ceremony had ended, everyone applauded and highly praised the reborn Beatrice. It was just as though Battler's and Beto's applause had been the final thing needed for a succession. Such a sudden sort of bit of progression to the plot. Like, you knew it had to be something amazing when they finally solved the epitaph. It'd taken so long. But yeah, it just felt... It feels really sudden to me. But yeah, it's going to get even more interesting as we go along. We essentially got a new character in the new Beatrice. 10:30. So yeah, we'll carry on next time. This has been Greeny XI. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit.